11 community members identified as home defenders have conducted an all-night sit-in at the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. The group is drawing attention to the greedy actions of the banks, who are finding it simpler to exploit our judicial system than work with homeowners to stay in their homes. To many homeowners, it's clear that direct community action is the only path to stop this exploitation. Many homeowners who are challenging the legality of their foreclosures have had their court cases thrown out of court simply because they could not afford a lawyer.
That's right.
What's worse, the sheriff has been enforcing these evictions by storming homes with dozens of armed police officers. We must call a moratorium on evictions. We must investigate and ensure that each foreclosure is not a fraudulent foreclosure.
Right.
We must force the banks to keep people in their homes.
Right.
So we're now going to hear from some of the folks who are upstairs. We spent the whole night.
Peace, people power is in the streets. No justice, no peace, no peace. People power is in the streets. No justice, no peace. People power is in the streets.
We did not think that we would spend the entire night in the sheriff's department, and we are really excited because we were able to be a part of a much bigger fight. We know that ultimately there's a huge responsibility of this crisis, the decisions for foreclosure and eviction that are driven by banks, equity firms, and groups that are throwing people out of their houses for profit. And the heart of our fight is with them. The heart of our fight is to come out and stand with people at their homes. The heart of our fight is to bring power to bear on the banks that are evicting folks. But we hope that we've also moved the fight forward a little bit in the last 20 hours.
Right.
In a meaningful way to start to push back on the other ways that people are evicted and thrown into the streets. And over the last hour or so, we've been sitting down and talking with both the sheriff and the county commission about ways that we can start to halt the evictions of folks across this county. And so I want to turn it over briefly to Reverend Schweibert, who's going to talk to us a little bit about some of the ways that we feel like we've made a step forward in the last 20 hours.
Thank you very much. In our conversations, we heard that both the sheriff and the chair of the county commission, Jeff Cogen, care about the fact that homes are being foreclosed upon. And they've said that they want to work with us. Well, we're going to put that to the test because we're going to put our energy into working with them too. But we have asked them as an indication, sort of a demonstration of their willingness to do this, to answer 3 specific questions before you so you can hear the answers. They're answers to questions that we have shared with them. And we've had assurances from both Jeff Cogen and from Sheriff Staton that they do answer these in the affirmative. But we're going to do this, in fact. So, Jeff, will you come forward, please? These are the questions, and you're answering for yourself and for Sheriff Staton because he's already gone to meet with a judge to talk about this very thing. First question is, knowing that you and we have work to do together to make it happen, will you, Sheriff Staton and Commissioner Cogen, publicly support the concept of halting foreclosure evictions?
Hi everyone, I'm Jeff Cogen. Sheriff Staton's not here because he has already started working on ways that we can make things better by meeting with the presiding judge. The presiding judge has the possibility of providing more flexibility for evictions, and that's what is happening right now. That's a meeting that's going to become part of the conversation we all discussed. So the question is, do I support the idea, and does the sheriff support the idea that when we can work to get the laws change so that we can get a moratorium? Will we push to get that moratorium? Will we support a moratorium? And the answer is yes.
Okay, the second question is, will you, Sheriff Staton and Commissioner Jeff Cogen, convene a meeting as soon as possible with Judge Waller and community representatives to seek an agreement to temporarily delay orders for foreclosures and evictions?
And again, the answer is yes. That's where the sheriff is right now, meeting with the judge.
And the third question is for Sheriff Staton, and he's given permission for Commissioner Cogen to answer for him. Will you, Sheriff Staton, back off from the use of unnecessary force and personnel when evicting families and put personnel resources instead into pursuing foreclosure fraud and irregularities?
So what the sheriff has said is that he is going to be personally attending evictions to make sure that there is no excessive force used, and he's going to be there at the evictions to make sure that's the case. Also, the sheriff and I both agree that we need to go after the possibility that there is fraud in these foreclosures. That's something that's going to involve bringing into the conversation the district attorney, and that's something that we're willing to pursue as well.
Several of us have made commitments to continue these meetings to make sure that these yeses really mean yes.
Right.
Thank you so much.
With your support, been able to make these demands and finally hear yeses that we have not heard before in public statements. We also want to share with you a final message that this is a start of the next step of a huge, huge fight. We have homes to defend, we have banks to take on, we have Fannie Mae to go after, because damn Debbie's not in her house right now.
Right.
And as we follow this path of saying we need judges to change, we need the law to change, we're going to have to fight for that. We're going to have to demonstrate for that. This is a step of a long, long, long fight, and we're in it. We were in it for 20 hours, we're in it for 20 days, we're in it until we keep people in their homes and there are no more empty homes and no more families on the street.
Yeah.